Hi there, and welcome. And today I'm going to talk about the laser sharp polling in the recently concluded election. And I'm also going to talk about the power of money in politics. But before I do that, let me tell you, there are two states that I'm watching very closely because they're still counting and it's not decided. And that's Arizona and Georgia. And Biden is leading by a total of 25,000 votes. Now, why am I watching those two states closely? Because if that result gets turned around, if that switches back to Trump, I get all 50 states right. Yay! So take that, Nate Silver. I'll be doing a piece soon on running the victory laps on my performance against Silver soon. But for today, let's get back. In all serious, jokes aside, let's imagine here if the situation was reversed. Let's imagine if the situation was reversed and Trump was up by narrow amounts in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona, which would be enough to turn the election, throw the election the other way. We're talking about 70, 100,000 votes. Just 100,000 votes, right? Okay. Let's say that a switch of 200,000 votes so that Trump was up by 100,000 votes total in all those four states. Let's imagine what the press would be doing. Let's imagine what would be going on. And we certainly know that the press would have declared Trump the victor. That Biden would have been screaming that he had been robbed, that they had been robbed and the election had been stolen from him, but the press would be urging him, for the good of the country, to concede. And Trump for his part, why, he would have given a speech urging healing and reconciliation. Yeah, right. So, jokes aside, I'll tell you what I'm concerned about here. About the press, because we can see what's happening with the press here, right? The press are lapdogs for the Democratic Party. They're absolute lapdogs, right? Okay. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat. They're lapdogs for the Democrats. And that's not good. It's not good for democracy. It's not good. And you know that in the Biden administration, they're going to put out press releases and statements, and the press is going to report it as if it's news. They're going to ask fawning questions, and it'll be uncritical analysis. And so if they run roughshod over the working class, and if they run roughshod, and if the NSA and the spying agencies undertake tons of domestic spying, which they've done, and if all the little minions in the press, they scurry back into these government agencies, the CIA and the NSA and the like, you think the press is going to be alerting us to that? Don't kid yourself, okay? That's not. And this talk about democracy dies in darkness. Yeah, democracy was dying, and they were keeping the WAPO and the richest man in the world. The richest man in the world was saving us and saving democracy. Give me a break. Anyway, so today, what I'm going to talk about and focus on is this, I think, hilarious article in the Huffington Post. The Huffington Post, henceforth to be known as the Huff and Puff. Now, in the Huff and Puff, they have this article entitled, How Democrats' Senate Dreams Crumbled. And yes, how once again the Democrats performed below expectations in an election. So this stuff, I mean, this could come right out of the Onion. And I'm telling you, parroting this stuff is really easy. It's amazing. You got to read this stuff. If you haven't read this, read it. It's amazing how serious these people take themselves. It's really ridiculous. But and basically what they talk here is about the judicious allocation of campaign funds by the Democratic National Committee and the Democratic PAC funds towards candidates. And but before I go into that, let me talk about the laser sharp polling that occurred in the state of Maine. I mean, this was the mother of all misses, was what happened in Maine. The last poll, 3 days before the election, by Emerson Polling in Maine, had the Democratic candidate, pictured right here, Sarah Gideon, they had her up by 6 points. A 6-point victory is what they were forecasting. Susan Collins, the Republican candidate running for re-election, she won the state by 9 points. She won it by 9 points. They were 15 points off. Now, the poll, and I checked the poll, it was plus or minus 4 points. It was off almost 4 times more than the supposed error, than the supposed range of error in the poll. I mean, wow, okay, wow. And every poll in that state had Gideon winning. Every single poll that was taken before the election had Gideon winning. Now, let me also point out, Gideon spent $70 million to lose by 9 points. But as we're going to see, there was a lot more money that was wasted. At least people actually thought that Gideon could have had a chance of winning that election, right? Now we're going to see a couple of Senate races where they probably had no chance of really a serious chance of winning, and the amount of money that went up in smoke. And Exhibit A of that is Amy McGrath. Amy McGrath was running in Kentucky against this swamp creature, this creature from the Dark Lagoon, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader. And absolutely, McConnell is as swampy a creature as anybody could imagine. And if that guy had actually lost, I think the universe would be better for it. But at any rate, he was running against Amy McGrath, and McGrath distinguished herself by basically promising to outdo McConnell in support of Trump if she got elected. That's what she was going to do, was going to outdo McConnell in her support of Trump. I mean, this was a woman who defeated a real progressive by 2 points in the senatorial primary. By only 2 points, she defeated a real progressive, and then ran a campaign where, with Democrats like that, who needs Republicans, right? So she spent, according to Huff and Puff, she spent nearly $100 million to lose by, get this, 20 points. She lost by 20 points in a race that nobody thought that she had any real serious chance of winning. Nobody thought it. And she managed to convince people to give her more than almost $100 million. I mean, can somebody please give me $100 million? I promise, I'll only skim off 1% from my private expenses, just 1%, because I really need the money. And I'll spend 99% on a desperate effort to lose by 20 points. I really promise. So, I mean, let's face it. The Democrats could have run a porcupine. They could have run a porcupine in Kentucky. And instead of spending $100 million, they could have spent $100 to feed and house it and take pictures of it and parade it in front of the media. And they could have lost by 20 points. And I'm not kidding, Now, let's turn to Exhibit B. And Exhibit B is South Carolina. And South Carolina, here the Democratic candidate, Jamie Harrelson, was running against yet another swamp creature, Lindsey Graham. Let me show you this picture of Graham. This picture of Graham. This is, and I took this right off his campaign website. Fawning. I mean, look at he's looking at Trump. Trump isn't even looking at him. He's smiling. He's not even bothering to look at him. And look at Graham is gazing up at Trump as if he's the dear leader or something. I mean, how embarrassing, right? How desperate. I mean, how desperate are you? What a desperate man. Getting back to, I was going to say Trump, and Trump for his part, there was this, let me show you this headline here. This was from July, and Trump attacks Lindsey Graham after SCOTUS rulings. He attacked him on Twitter. That's Trump for you. You give love, you never get it back. God bless the guy. So getting back to Huff and Puff, Harrelson spent over $100 million, and I checked it. I confirmed this. He spent $107 million $107 million to lose by 10 points. By 10 points he lost. And it was so clear he was going to lose, and he got so desperate near the end of his campaign, he was actually spending money to promote the campaign of a far right-wing candidate of the goofball Constitution Party, and that party, they were spending money. They actually spent money to try to promote that campaign. They were that desperate to try to do anything to win the election. So that was Exhibit B. But also there's an honorable mention to two Democratic PACs that, for reasons that even this writer could not understand, that they spent $20 million in Texas. That the candidate that was running against the Democratic candidate, I don't even know who it was, that they spent $20 million. Now Cornyn won by, I think, 10 points. So, I mean, all in all, spending only $20 million to lose by 10 points. Well, that looked like money well spent in comparison. And the thing is, think about it. You have these, all this money. Where did this money go? This money that as even they said in a money furnace. This was like $300 million. $300 million that went just up in flames, on these Senate campaigns that I'm saying right here that the Democrats blew. $300 million. Where did it go? Ad campaigns. They're laughing. And the consultants right now, they're running off to buy their Manhattan condos that they from the money that they earn. And believe me, A, they're laughing all the way to the bank and to their real estate agents, and B, the same stupid people are going to hire these people the next election cycle. You can be guaranteed of it. You can guarantee it that these people they're going to come back for more advice and more campaign wisdom from these consultants. So I'm going to end at today. And so please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And please share this video. Oh, please leave a comment and please share this video so I can grow my channel and become a powerhouse, an internet and YouTube powerhouse. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.